KJ Hamler, Penn State. Can somebody tell me why he's not getting more attention? I don't really get that one. To me, this looks like Hollywood Brown from Oklahoma last year. Every bit as good. I bet if he had Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray or played in the Big 12, we'd be looking at him a lot different because his stats would be better. But man, I mean, this is all I ever see. All I ever see is him running by people. See ya, good night, touchdown.
The Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast for more of that. And Penn State fans, he's got KJ Hamler as his number 4 wide receiver. Needless to say, there are going to be wide receivers who don't go the first or second receiver off the board, who are going to be impact guys. And someone who knows KJ Hamler very well joins us now, his coach at Penn State, James Franklin. So, James, I'm sure you can add to Chris's assessment there of what you saw in Hamler during the season.
Of KJ, it really kind of in every way. He's awesome in meetings, in the locker room. He's a culture driver. And then, on the football field, he can change the game in a minute on offense or special teams.
For the guys who will be draft eligible or likely drafted or free agents from your group, have you noticed anything different because they haven't had the traditional run-up to the draft like they normally would in different times?
Yeah, and, magnified for us, our pro day was a little bit later, so our guys didn't get to have pro day. Right. KJ didn't run at the combine. I think he would have ran low 4.3, if not better than that. Which I think would have maybe impacted how people are talking about him right now. But everybody's dealing with it to a degree. But I'm a huge KJ fan as well as the rest of our guys. We got a number of guys that we think are going to go fairly high and have an opportunity to make a team and make an impact.
Yeah, for the folks who aren't college football followers but are NFL fans who are watching, they're going to hear Yetur Gross-Matos' name on night one in all likelihood. Can you give folks a little bit of frame of reference of the kind of player he is?
Well, I think with Yetur, his best football is ahead of him. I still think he's a young football player. He's a guy that as a freshman, we were trying to decide whether we were going to redshirt him or not, and he just was too big, too strong, too physical, and went on to 3 very productive years for us. But what I've been telling all the people I've talked to is his best football is ahead of him. He's another guy that didn't get to run at the combine. I think would have ran a good time as well. I think he's got a very bright future.
You had 3 years at Vandy, 7 years now at Penn State. Man, that time has gone fast, too. What is it like on draft night when one of the kids who you recruited, you were in their living room talking to their parents, now you hear their name called and they're off to the NFL? What does that feel like for a head coach in college?
Well, I think it's special because I think you're exactly right. You think back to sitting in that living room and talking to the parents and finding out what their dreams were and finding out what their goals were, and then working really hard over 3, 4, or 5 years to help them achieve that. And at Penn State, we're fortunate that so many of our guys are able to have the complete experience. They're graduating, they're playing at a high level at Penn State, competing for Big Ten championships and national championships, and then chasing their dream at the next level in the NFL. So for me, you kind of feel like a father in some ways. I remember sitting in the green room with Saquon in New York when he gets drafted number 2 overall, and just kind of the whole journey kind of flashes before your eyes.
I remember your years at Vandy. You did such a good job there, winning about 8 games a year. And then you go to Penn State. So you've seen this college thing from the different worlds. Vandy, where it's as challenging as it is for any institution in the football-rich, tradition-rich SEC. And now you go to Penn State, where Ohio State and Michigan are in your division, not even your conference. They're in your division. So you got to go up against them, let alone the others on that side. What is it like to be on both sides of that continuum?
Yeah, I think it's been helpful for me. I think it's helpful for me. I think it's helpful for the Big Ten. I think I can lend a lot of perspective. I was a head coach in the SEC. Saban was in the conference. Les Miles was in the conference. Spurrier was in the conference. So I was in that conference, and obviously very well respected conference, and we were able to do some good things. We won 9 games 2 years in a row, which hadn't happened I think since 1915. And then go to Penn State, and we're able to win a Big Ten championship in year 3. So I think in that room and part of those meetings, not talking about what we think the SEC is doing, I've lived it, and I think it brings great perspective to me. I think it's tremendous value.
It's really stupid for me to sit here and ask any coach, what do you think is going to happen with the football season? Because, as you said so well last week, it's the scientists who have to give the answers, and then the college administrators who are going to make the decisions on if school's open. But from a football perspective, how much time will you need from the doors are open, you can bring your players back to your facility, to getting them ready to play in Beaver Stadium? How many weeks?
Well, some people didn't like my answer when we get into politics from football coaches, so I'll be careful there. But yeah, I'm a big believer that we should be trusting the experts, and we should be listening to the scientists that study this day in and day out. It's their life. I think from a football coach perspective, I think everybody would like 6 weeks. I think that would be ideal. But let's be honest. 20 years ago, the guys didn't stay up in the summer. They would show up on a college campus. You'd have camp for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you go play the season. So I think if we had to, we could get it done in 4 weeks. But I think in an ideal situation, you'd love to have 6.
I want to ask you about the program. And you have really pushed involvement, not just you and your family, but all of your players, to get involved in the community. What do you see when you go into a 5-star recruit's house and you talk about, hey, part of this deal is if you're going to wear that traditional Penn State uniform, you've also got to be a presence in the community and give back, that there's a responsibility that comes with it?
Well, I think that's the best way to say it. Just like you said, there's a responsibility to this. And, with people that are given so much, there's a requirement to be able to give back. And I think that's what's great about college football is you're truly part of a community. And we're all doing this together. I mean, we get a huge advantage on game day with 107,000 fans in the stadium. And, when our players can, small acts of kindness, with people on our campus or people in our community, goes a long way. So, I was fortunate to coach in the NFL with the Green Bay Packers, which really in a lot of ways has a very college feel to it. And I just understand the impact that our game can have. And I want to make sure that we're doing as much as we can in that area as well.
How about the virtual learning experience, as players have been kind of keeping in touch that way? Anything that you can take from this that you can maybe continue on when we do hopefully get back to a more normal life?
Yeah, I think, Mike, that, it's like anything else. If you're approaching these things the right way, you're going to grow from it. You're going to evolve. There's no doubt about it. And, the technology, it's forced a lot of our coaches and a lot of our people to embrace technology, maybe more so than they have before. It's made me think about, even when we're going on vacation and things like that, we don't have to lose that connection with our players. We can have team meetings. We can have position meetings. There's a lot of things that we're able to do. And there's a silver lining. I've spent more time with my 2 daughters over the last 3 weeks than I have in a long time. They wake up every single morning and I'm there. And every single night I tuck them in bed. And the first 2 weeks they're like, this is awesome. How much time? After week 3, they're like, isn't it time for you to take your butt back to work? We've had about enough of you.
Right. I think we're all getting a lot of that. Hey, do they do takeout at the creamery? Are you guys able to get ice cream? It's that time of year.
No, Pennsylvania's on lockdown. There's not a whole lot of takeout of anything. Yeah. And, that's kind of what I'm hoping. Again, not getting into politics, but I just wish we'd lock the whole country down because I think the sooner we do that, hopefully the sooner we can get back to normal.
A lot of people who have expressed that, and some of the numbers tend us that way. Time will tell as we watch the next couple of steps. James Franklin, coach at Penn State. Great to visit with you again. Hope to do it in person sometime soon. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.